Alright guys, I'm back. Got a few more reactor casings. I don't think that's quite enough, but that's alright. So what we're going to do is grab that yellorium. We'll just turn the reactor off. Now I'm going to break these two. Then break these guys as well. And break these guys at the back. So what we will do is lift this up one. Which actually means I need to make some more control rods as well, but that's fine. So that'll be like that. We'll put another rod here, and then have water in these two. I'm going to do reactor glass like that, since we've got it. And then that'll be the front face now, so we'll be able to look inside and see our reactor cores, which will be kind of cool. So we push this out by one. Break these two and push the whole thing back by one. Yeah, so it'll be a 4x4 now. Let's break this guy. Tile air is not valid for reactor's exterior. Oh, interesting. So you can right click on it and it'll tell you why it's not valid. That's cool. Okay. So since we've got them, I guess we'll just set up both of these. We might as well put the blocks on there just to save us crafting more later on. So we might as well put the other power tap there as well. I think if we go around, let's just put it on the front with two ladders, just so that we can quickly get up on top to tinker with the reactor core controllers if we need to. So if we do that, so we need one more casing, and then a control rod and two more fuel rods. So two fuel rods, control rod, and a casing. Alright, we can do that. Give me that crafting table again. So we want one of them to make one of them, to make one of them, and then to get the fuel rods. Wait, what are we missing for fuel rods? Iron, okay. And then what are we missing for this? Just more iron. Yeah, because we need to do one more craft of that as well. Okay. And I'll also get another bucket of water to set up as well. Alright guys, I've got the water here, so if we craft up one more of them, one more of him, one more of him, that should be everything we need. So what we want to do is place a water block there, and a water block there. We then want to place these two, can I get in there? Gonna have to jump in, alright. Damn it. Alright, that and that. Controller on top. That guy there, you can see the texture changed again, so it's now valid reactor. Alright, so you can see our fuel capacity has quadrupled. So we had one fuel rod in there, we now have 4. So once we put our yellorium in the side here, that'll jump right up again. Our energy buffer hasn't changed. I don't think anything else will change really. Our casing heat the reactor's casing heat raises energy output. Coolant conversion. Core heat transfer to the casing. Transfer is based on the design reactor's interior. Right. So. The reason we put water in here is that affects core heat, I believe. It's part of the transfer rate to the casing heat. So you can put other liquids in there and it'll improve or it'll affect the transfer rate. So you can put stuff like, I think liquid ender and cryothium and stuff are good candidates for that, but water's a decent enough starting one. So let's put our yellorium back in there. You can see it consumed a bunch of it, so it's up to full now. Alright, so if we fire it up again, see what our power goes up to. Holy. Alright, up to 2.8 killer RF a tick. That's 2.8 thousand RF a tick. We're using 0.1 millibucket of fuel a tick, so that's gone up a lot as well. Now this guy might not be able to handle the output rate anymore. Looks like he can't, no. So he can't handle the output, which means this guy's going to be receiving the maximum 1096. So I'm guessing that's 1024 from this, and then the other, 70-ish is whatever we've got generating on the low voltage line, which would just be the water mills and the solar panels and stuff. Okay, so we need to increase that. Okay, I need to double check this, but I believe when you're dealing with the immersive engineering cables, the conduits have an input limit or a transfer limit, but the lines themselves have a greater limit. Power wires and generators, basic wires, I think. Connect 2 blocks. I take 2 wires. Alright, 2 important values. Each connector has an input value, and each wire has a maximum transfer rate. The connector limits how much power can be in and output, but multiple connectors can unify into a single wire, allowing you to combine the transfer over longer ranges. Yes, okay, so because we're using MV wire, we have, according to this, assuming that's copper, electrum, and then whatever the high voltage one's made out of, we have a transfer rate of 8,192 RF, but an input limit of 1,024. So because that reactor is now producing over 2,000, we need to hook up 2 connectors to it, as well as more. Let me just sort this. Need MV relays, MV coils. 2 coils should be enough. Yeah, because we'll have an extra. So we'll need to have an extra connector coming off of the reactor and an extra connector going into the battery. Assuming the battery can handle that much input. What's its transfer rate? 2,000. Okay, yeah. So that'll max it out, which is fine. That just means we'll be able to get rid of some of our other. Well, we could probably just turn off the lava generators for the moment, magmatic generators, while the reactor's running. But that means we need a couple more MV connectors, which are just iron and clay. Did we cook up extra clay? So we did. So 4 of them. We shouldn't need more relays, we just need more connectors. We should have enough wires, enough wire coils. Yes, that should be fine. So if we do that, we should have MV connectors. Okay, so we should be able to, if we take that and this guy. So first of all, we need to increase the output connection, and I'm not sure if that can reach actually. Let's just turn the reactor off for a second. So I'm going to pick up this guy, and unfortunately spill water everywhere, and we'll put him back there. Put that guy there, becomes valid again. Of course water goes everywhere, so need to put more torches down. Alright, so we can turn you back on. Your production will go back up to that. So if we put an MV connector here and run an MV coil off of him and into the same connection spot, like that. I don't know why he hasn't turned green, but that should be fine. So we should have up to 2048 RF output from this into this line. The line itself can hold up to 8,000, so that's fine. but our input is still limited at 1000 because this connector can only handle 1000. So the way we get around that is, let's just get rid of the LV connection for the moment. So if we put an MV connector there with an MV wire on it, connecting to here, that should double our output up to just over 2000. 1900. Why is that? Why is that not quite 2000? Interesting. There might be a loss of power over distance with these lines. I'm not sure. Or this is just isn't. No, it's producing over 2000. But you can see it's still filling up. So how do we want to play this? So we know that we consume about 1200 for the machines downstairs. And we've got 1950 coming in at the moment. So what we can do is lower the control rods into the reactor, which will give us more fuel efficiency at a cost of less power generation. So if we do them by that, so if we hold control, that'll do all the rods, so that'll do this one as well. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Let's have a look at this now. It's down to 1.5. Now fuel efficiency's gone up, I guess it is up. It's more fuel efficient. And our power input into here should have gone down. Why hasn't that gone down? Interesting. Why has that not got that? That should have dropped. Oh, no, it won't because of the battery. Right. Yeah, so these will just continue to output the maximum they can until the battery runs out. But the battery is decreasing now, so that tells us that we are producing less power than it's consuming. I guess we'll know for sure once this finishes. Yeah, no, because this is still filling up. So because this is filling up, that means that we're still outputting more power than we're using. So now that that's full, input and output match, which means we should be able to see this guy is now increasing again. So we can lower the fuel rods even further. So if we drop them to 40, it's still increasing. Just, I think for the moment I'm probably fine with it. I don't know, we really need to get a control system set up on the reactor to turn it off when it's full. Because if that's the case, we can have it run just higher than what we're consuming, and it'll fill the battery up, turn itself off, and then when the battery gets low, it'll turn itself on again. That is still just increasing, so let's just drop it a little bit more then. Let's just bump it up to 60%. Yeah, there we go. Now it's dropping. Fuel efficiency's gone up. We're producing just under 1000, so we could get rid of that line as well, I guess. That's... Yeah, that should be up a little bit more, so we could bump it up to 60. What was it at? 40? 60, yeah. If we bump it back to 50, that's probably... Ow. Yeah, that's about where we want it. See, it's slightly going up, but it's also dropping down to 5. Yeah, that should be fine for now. We can tinker with it a bit more later on. Yeah, that's good. So these things should be outputting pretty much at their maximum now. So this, we should have gotten away. Yeah, we got a heap more stuff just in the short amount of time that's been running. Yeah, and now we're getting into an issue where these aren't transferring out fast enough. Yeah, okay. That's good. That is a good problem to have. These are all just completely full now. Yeah, alright. So that might do for today, guys. I'm trying to watch my video length a bit more so I'm not having to cut them in the middle of me doing something. Because I noticed when I was editing the video setting this up that I had to cut it like 3 times just randomly in the middle of while I was trying to do something. So I'm probably going to try and structure the videos a bit better, and they might run a little longer or shorter, but I'll try to sort of keep one video contained to one thing that we're trying to do. Whoa. I think that was the storm generator, Wow. So we got that, what's it called? A storm siren or something like that? What was it? Weather siren. We got that in a crate or from a quest reward or something. I set it up because I was curious, and that is, ow, horrifying, and I'm going to get rid of it. Because, wow. That kind of scared me, actually. I was not expecting that, and it was so loud, even though we're a fair distance away from it. Right, what was I even talking about? Yeah, trying to keep videos a bit more structured, so let me know what you think. We'll see how it goes. At the very least, I might try and at least structure breaks, like at least think about breaks rather than just having to cut out in the middle of talking to separate episodes. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.